Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jordan. You may know me as Reading with Jordan on Bookstagram, and thank you so much for clicking on one of my videos. I'm super excited this week. I'm going to be filming a reading vlog, reading my January ARCs that I was sent, which are advanced reader copies. I'm super excited to film this video. I was sent a lot of amazing physical ARCs from publishers, as well as a few ebook ARCs. I can't believe I have my hands on them. So hopefully you'll be able to get a taste, a sneak peek at my thoughts and get excited for these new releases and maybe figure out if you want to read them yourselves. So some of the books that will be featured are Bagar Steal by Sarah Adams. This is the third book in the When in Rome series, and this was kindly gifted to me by Dell Romance. Water Moon, which is a fantasy book, was kindly gifted to me by Del Rey. A Sea of Unspoken Things by Adrienne Young, who's the same author as The Unmaking of June Farrow, which was kindly gifted to me by Delacorte Press. Last but not least, we have The Favorites, which is one of my new favorite books, and this was kindly gifted to me by Random House. I also will be reading Out of the Woods by Hannah Bone Young. So we'll have some romance, some mystery, thriller, fiction books, and a fantasy book. So I'm super excited, and hopefully you enjoy seeing some reactions and sneak peeks to these highly anticipated books. Good morning. It is currently Monday, December 9th. I wanted to check in before going to work because I am about to start Beg, Borrow, or Steal, and I'm so excited. I love the When in Rome series. I was planning to read the physical book, but I actually have been loving the audiobooks for When in Rome and Practice Makes Perfect. I was just sent the advanced listener's copy of the Beg, Borrow, or Steal audiobook from Penguin Random House Audio. Thank you very much to them. So I think I'm gonna listen to the audiobook. I've really been enjoying the narrators. It just feels right to finish the series off listening to the audiobook. So I think I'm gonna start listening to it, and then maybe I'll do a bit of physical reading of the book at the end. So yeah, I'm excited. This is like one of my most anticipated releases of 2025, and it comes out January 7th. Good morning. It is currently Saturday, December 14th, and before I started reading this morning, I figured that we were due for a little update before I got further into my current read, because I have a feeling I'm going to just want to yap about this one. To begin, I did yesterday finish Beg, Borrow, or Steal by Sarah Adams. I loved this one. The When in Rome series has my entire heart. I think it is one of the best small town romances. The way that Sarah Adams writes the females and the sisters in this series is absolutely unmatched. At the beginning, Emily's character is definitely portrayed more childish or a bit more immature, and I think that's just simply because you don't know what Emily is actually going through. By literally the 15%, 20% mark, you start to see Emily's point of view. You start to see her insecurities and why she feels like she needs to control everything that she does, as well as her just trust issues because of her trauma and her upbringing. Once I feel like Jack and Emily started interacting, I just absolutely fell in love with the romance. I think the banter in this book, because it is kind of an enemies to lovers, is absolutely unmatched. I just connected with Emily's character as the eldest daughter. Obviously, that's something I can relate to. I think in terms of her control issues and her need to just have her hands in everything, as well as her trust issues and not wanting to open herself up to someone, that was something I could really relate to, and I think Sarah Adams wrote that beautifully. The audiobook was really good, so if you have the opportunity to listen to the audiobook when this comes out on January 7th or read the book, I definitely recommend it. I don't think it will disappoint. I I do want to say that Madison's book, who is the middle child of the Walker sisters, was teased constantly in this book because the next book in the series is Madison's and it's going to be the last one, which is so sad. And I am so ready. Like, I think that Sarah Adams is going to write the middle child beautifully. The tension that's been building up between Madison and James in this series and in this book especially has been wonderful. So I'm really excited to see where the last book goes. So now, importantly, we can get into my current read, which is The Favorites by Layne Fargo. I have the best feeling about this book, and I am about currently 25% in. I started listening to it and reading a little bit yesterday because I could not wait. Besties Yasmin, Bernie, and Kayla have been screaming, crying about this book. I am so excited, which I feel like I got so lucky to get a physical art before everyone's been talking about it lately. This is about two ice skaters. They're an ice dancing pair duo. They are basically competing to be the best in the world. They are trying to be, you know, national, world, Olympic champions. Kat and Heath have been friends, have been essentially living together since they were 10 and competing together. You have the angst and the tension of them being in love while also trying to be on top of the world and beat everyone out. I have heard that this is Daisy Jones and the Six, a little bit of Magnolia Parks, the drama and the angst. I've heard it compared to Wuthering Heights. All three of those comparisons sounds immaculate and like three of my favorite things. I'm really excited. The format of this book is essentially following a documentary that was made 10 years after whatever happened at their big Olympic Games where their partnership and their relationship blew up. So it's similar to the format of Daisy Jones and the Six, where there are interviews from other people in the ice dancing world, their coaches, their teammates, their enemies, who are discussing who Kat and Heath were and their partnership and their relationship. So I think that format is super interesting. Kind of have a feeling that I'm going to binge this book this weekend. I'm about to immerse myself in this book. I genuinely think that this is going to be one of my favorite books of 2025. I knew that before I started reading, and now that I'm 25% in and I'm really just getting to like the background and the history of these characters, I haven't really gotten to a lot of the drama yet. I can't wait to scream at everyone to read this book. It comes out January 14th. Hello. So it is currently Monday night, December 16th. I wanted to give a few updates because most importantly, yesterday I finished The Favorites. This is just me begging for everyone to read this book when it comes out on January 14th. I'm going to be thinking about Kat and Heath and these characters forever. It is so good. If you love Daisy Jones and the Six, if you love the drama in Daisy Jones, the tension, the romance, the whirlwind, the documentary interview format, you will absolutely love this book. I think Daisy Jones is the best comparison in terms of documentary interview style, other people kind of giving the juicy behind the scenes about these characters. At no point did I expect what was going to happen next. Every time that something got bad, something worse occurred. At the end, I was so proud of how much they both grew and changed as people, and it was really beautiful despite every tragic thing that happened to the two of them. I love this book, and please, please, please read it. If you like Daisy Jones, if you like the drama and the angst in Magnolia Parks, I think that part is kind of similar. So the next book that I started last night, I'm now about 45% through. I just binged this book last night. Out of the Woods by Bonham. I was kindly sent by Dell Romance, and I have on my Kindle. Bonham Young's writing is just so easy to read. It's so easy to immerse yourself into the lives of the main characters. I love the way she describes things. I will say I was a little bit iffy about this book because it's about two married people who have been married since they were 18. In case you didn't know, Out of the Woods is not a follow-up to, but it's in the same world as Out on the Limb, and it follows Sarah and Caleb, who are the best friends of Win and Bo in Out on a Limb. I just didn't really know if I was going to relate to Sarah and Caleb's story at all. And so basically it's them experiencing relationship troubles in their marriage, kind of growing out of touch with each other and not communicating, and basically going on this like wilderness retreat to try and reconnect and save their marriage. And I have been binging it. It's been so fun to read. I am really liking Sarah's character, and I'm really excited to see her grow and just become more secure in herself, because right now she's so insecure and just doesn't feel like she has her own place and her own purpose aside from being married to Caleb. I feel like I'm going to binge another part of this tonight and then probably finish it tomorrow, which honestly is just like my favorite type of romance, when I can just be engrossed in it. Yeah, let's go read together. Good morning. It is currently Tuesday, December 17th, and I wanted to do a quick update before I left for work, because this week's audiobook that I'm listening to is A Sea of Unspoken Things by Adrienne, which was kindly gifted to me by Penguin Random House Audio. Thank you, besties. I decided to listen to this one on audio, and so far I don't know a lot, but it's giving me a mystery thriller type fiction book, almost similar to the vibes of The God of the Woods, which I also listened to on audiobook, and I really enjoyed reading it that way. So I thought maybe it would be a similar experience. And from what I do know about the book, it is about a girl named James whose twin brother just died, and she's trying to figure out the mystery of what happened to him, what caused his death, whether it was an accident. And apparently there's a lot of violence in her past linked to her brother. So it's definitely been interesting so far. I'm enjoying the narrator. I think it's going to be a good like mystery fiction book. So yeah, I'm excited to listen.
Hoped he wouldn't still be around. Did he say anything? She asked. I shook my head.
Hello, it is Thursday night, and I wanted to give some quick updates before I start reading, because I finished a few books and started a few new ones. So first of all, I finished Out of the Woods. I loved Out of the Woods. I was a little bit nervous, like I said, going in. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to relate to it, because I don't typically love like marriage in crisis, long-term marriage tropes and romances. I absolutely loved it. It was such like a heartwarming and comforting book. I really enjoyed Sarah's character. I found her really relatable, and I enjoyed Hannah Young's discussion of her issues and her insecurities in her 30s and just trying to figure out what she wanted in life. And I thought the relationship between her and Caleb was really cute. I really liked how much they grew and learned to communicate and discuss their needs better. Seeing Win and Bo in the background of the story was really wonderful. I think I gave it like a 4.5. The perfect romance book, so definitely check this one out. I think it comes out January 21st. Okay, so next update. I did just finish this one. The ending of this book was crazy. I'm definitely the type of person that's not very good at guessing the endings and like the killer or the main culprit in a mystery or thriller, but this one literally caught me so off guard. I was completely shocked at one of the big reveals. It made it so much fun because the ending just constantly more and more things happened and more was revealed that I wasn't expecting. I really like this. I will say I think Adrienne Young specifically in this one does a really good job of writing a mystery thriller that definitely leans more fiction, and it kind of reminded me similar to the type of writing and genre of The God of the Woods, which was a mystery thriller this year that I really loved, in that they both had a lot of character development and focus on the different characters, more like a character study. I thought it was really good. It felt very like atmospheric, especially with the whole, again, small town woods theme. The mystery and thriller I thought was really good. It had a little bit of romance, second chance romance. I probably would rate this 4 stars. Definitely check this one out when it comes out on January 7th. Okay, so next book that I started yesterday is Water Moon by Samantha Sotto Yambao, and this is a magical realism fantasy book, I would say. And first of all, I mean, just like look at how beautiful the origami and the setting of this book is. So I really went into this book knowing nothing except for the fact that it is about a pawn shop that is magical, and the girl that runs it has magical abilities, is able to like time travel, and essentially lives in a different magical world than the real world that we all live in. And it's about choices, things that you regret, letting go of those choices. That's all I really knew as per usual, but I thought it sounded really interesting. And I'm now about 50% through this book and I'm absolutely loving it. The writing is so beautiful. The different quotes about choices and regrets and fate and just a life that we choose for ourselves versus the life we get. I think the writing is so beautiful. I think it's such a unique fantasy concept and world, especially being in a pawn shop. And I think the characters are super unique. So I'm excited to keep reading. And it's been a really easy fantasy book too to get used to, because I feel like it has, again, more of a magical realism setting. So it is Saturday and it is time to finally wrap up this reading vlog. I just finished the last book, Water Moon, which I absolutely love. I thought this was such a cool, unique fantasy. It is set in Japan, and again, like I said earlier, in a magical world where when you walk through the door of this pawn shop, you enter this magical world where things are a bit upside down. Things and time do not function in the same way as they do in the real world. In the book, you're following Hannah and Key. One is from the regular human world who enters the pawn shop, and then Hannah is the daughter of the owner of the pawn shop who has to take over running it. Essentially, the book is following Hannah and Key as they try to locate Hannah's father, who has gone missing, in search of her mother, who was long believed to be dead. You follow them through this magical world where they're trying to flee the Shikun, who are the bad guys that control and take all of the choices and the souls. And it's just super interesting. I've never really read a plot like this in a fantasy book, where the characters, again, the setting and just the concepts behind the plot and the story were so fresh and new. I loved just the discussion of choices and fate and trying to create your own fate, even when those who may control you and your world have a different expectation for you. It was super interesting. I really liked it. So definitely check this out when it comes out on January 21st. Okay, so with that, we have made it to the end of this video. I feel like I had such a good 2 weeks of reading with these new January releases. I read 5 books, including these 4 physical arcs. And just to run you through real quick, I think I'm gonna end up reading Bagar Steel 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed this one and Emily's character. Then we had the favorites, which I rated 5 stars easy. This is one of my favorite books of 2024. A Sea of Unspoken Things, I think I will rate a 4 stars. Again, I enjoyed this one. Out of the Woods, I would rate a 4 stars. Again, really good romance. And then Water Moon, I would rate a 4.5 stars. I thought it was a really unique and new fantasy concept. I hope that you all enjoyed this concept of me reading my arcs for the next month. I feel like I'm so lucky to receive so many new releases, and January is an absolutely stacked month with new releases. So hopefully you found this interesting and you found some books that you wanted to learn more about about or just get excited for. If you liked this style of video of me reading my upcoming releases and arcs, please let me know. I have a bunch of other ones I would love to read in an upcoming reading vlog. So make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and do all the YouTube things, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!